This is the collab that you all ask for all the time on social media. Here it is, live and in person. We've done it on the radio, coast to coast. The first time I agreed to come on your show, by the way, I didn't realize 9 a.m. meant 6 a.m. So
Yes,
yeah,
I know. When you found that out, you quickly became a little less enthused about it.
East Coast time gets me. But here we are in the same time zone, live in person in Las Vegas. Damon Amendolara. And make sure, DA Show, check him out, subscribe to his channel right now. Look, you've done such a good job encapsulating the circus that this has become for the A's in the relocation to Las Vegas. What made you latch onto this? What made you see this for what it is? Because I know a lot of the national perspectives don't get it, frankly.
My antenna's always up about owners exploiting fans. And so I'm always kind of skeptical when things are sold a certain way. And I spoke about this when it first came down because I also knew that there was a passion for the A's in Oakland because one of my close friends that I went to college with was from the Bay Area, and he was a huge A's fan, and we were in college, and I remember him showing me pictures of going to the Coliseum and whatnot, and I, of course, remember all the great teams of the 80s and early 90s. So I always thought it was weird when the narrative was trying to be sold that there's no fans in Oakland. That didn't make sense to me. And then I spoke about this, and there were so many A's fans that reached out to me because they either heard me on the radio or saw the clip on social and said, exactly. And so it was like a force, it was like a validation of my skepticism coming from the fans themselves. And the more that I just dug into it, the more insane this is. And I'm really annoyed that the national media doesn't care enough to look into it because it doesn't take much to like peel the lid off and go, oh my God, this is all a charade. It's all such a sham. And once you start doing that, you see it for what it really is.
Yeah, I think it's just so messy at times that the national media doesn't necessarily want to dig into the details. They just see what's on the surface. And it's like, oh, Las Vegas, oh, they have a site there. Okay, whatever, you know, like, sure. But I think when you dig into it, like you said, it is absolutely insane. And, you know, the more I've noticed that I speak up, speak out, people agree, I don't hear the A's pushing back.
Right.
I don't see them putting out other information.
Right.
I don't see them calling you or me and saying, hey, that's wrong, let's get the record right. And I've offered many, many times to talk to them, and I find that they don't even seem to be trying to make their case. So do you think that they're gonna ever have the opportunity to pull this off? And do you think that they're going to find a place to play in the near term if they actually do get this in 2028? That is 25, 26, 27, they have no home.
And that's why this is very brittle as a concept, is because not only does Major League Baseball have to figure out playing in Vegas and funding and the stadium and all of that, there's a lot that goes into that, that's what every relocation deals with. But to have a 3-year to 4-year slow bleed of playing in a minor league stadium somewhere else is a constant black eye for the league.
Yeah.
And that's unprecedented. That has never happened before. So that makes me wonder what the appetite is within Major League Baseball offices and the owners to stomach that, to deal with that. And I keep just going back to how much appetite do the owners have to help out John Fisher? Because that's what this is. It's kind of like, all right, we're going to look the other way as you stumble your way through the Oakland process, then stumble your way through the Vegas process, then delay everything and no renditions. And now Vegas is kind of like lukewarm on it as well. If they really want to do him a solid, they're going to just keep looking the other way. But if they don't have a loyalty to him, then I think you start getting exposed, and I think that's when people get cold feet, and then it retracts because they're worried about the embarrassment. And I just don't know if he's got enough loyalists inside Major League Baseball to pull this thing off.
Yeah, I mean, the vote was unanimous, but they're not pushing out another owner, right?
Right.
And giving up this market for expansion seems like a big mistake. If they can't find a place to play for 25 through 28, there's been talks that they just shut down and don't play at all.
I can't believe
I mean, what they need to do is just let an Oakland buyer, like Joe Lacob, buy the team, and then let John Fisher and the A's do Vegas when they're ready, right? Like, don't drag everybody through the mud for 4 more years. And you mentioned, you know, the whole ridiculous saga in Oakland and Las Vegas, but keep in mind, this clown car has stopped in Fremont, in San Jose, and several sites in Oakland before it got to Vegas. So, and now they're looking at Sacramento, Salt Lake City. I mean, it's just like you're taking all these potentially great markets and embarrassing them all at once.
Yeah, and what's the win here for baseball? To leave a market that can support 2 teams and is the 10th largest media market with an established fan base and tons of wealth, tons of inherent tech, Silicon Valley industrial wealth. Why would you want, what's the win for baseball to leave that? It would seem to me that the 30 owners and Rob Manfred would say the priority is dripping that market dry worth of its cash and then creating something here in Vegas with another entity.
Yeah, get them both. You can have them both.
You can have them both.
You know?
And so that's again why I don't understand why they're letting John Fisher mess this thing up so badly. This is the clumsiest relocation in the history of professional sports. I will go to my grave believing that.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And some I think the A's fans that have grown to know you, I think they really enjoy your Manfred rants too. So I have to ask you, how has the commissioner handled this? How do you feel he's doing?
I know that none of these commissioners, really invigorate any of us. I mean, Adam Silver's kind of the closest, but only because he's kind of seemingly intellectual.
He seems like he gets it.
Seems like he gets it. He's not really he's not an inspirational speaker. He's just seemingly a smart, sophisticated guy. Roger Goodell we kind of deal with. There's a lot of stuff, but again, there's a certain intelligence around the strategy. Even though we find it to be gross and we find it to be exploitive, there is a strategy for everything that football does. For Rob Manfred, it feels like he's kind of like stumbling his way through a dark room every single day, where he's killing his own trophy, calling it a piece of metal.
I know, what is that?
He's
He kind of his foot in his mouth a lot.
Continuously,
Yeah.
and so then when he does speak, it does not feel like it is strategic in what his messaging is. So when he speaks about the A's, this relocation or whatever, it always feels like he kind of doesn't have a plan. And so it's like he doesn't have a plan, and clearly Fisher doesn't have a plan, and Cavill doesn't have a plan, and if they do, they're terrible at executing it. And so the 3 stooges there, it just makes my mind melt about how dumb it all seems from them. And I really believe this, and it's a problem. If this was a football team relocating, the national media would have a completely different interest in it. But because it's baseball and people kind of throw up their hands at baseball, it's like, baseball regional, baseball, we don't know the stars, baseball is 162 games. People just don't care enough to see how ridiculously ineffective all of this is. And if it was football, I think the glare would be so much hotter on Fisher, and it would be so much more of a national story.
Well, look what they did with the Raiders, right? Like, there are NFL power broker owners. In baseball, there really don't seem to be. And so they had the Chargers, the Raiders, they're trying to figure out they were going to split Carson, you had the Rams, and then all of a sudden they sat down at this owners meeting and Jerry Jones essentially was like, you're going here, you're going here, you're going here. The Raiders came to Vegas, Chargers and Rams went to LA, done. And honestly, that made no sense either, because the Raiders are probably the most popular team in LA.
Right.
They could have put them in LA, but the Rams probably don't want to deal with that. So I think that's what's missing with this commissioner and these MLB owners. There's no like power broker that's like, this is what we're doing, shut up and get in line. That doesn't happen in baseball.
It doesn't. And football is expanding to Brazil and Germany and this, that, and the other thing. They've got the draft now rotating to different cities. They have a 10 to 15 year strategy, maybe longer, on every decision that they make. The Peacock thing, like all of this is for reasons. And it's usually Kraft, and it's Jerry Jones, and maybe the Maras and the Rooneys, and whoever those power brokers are. In baseball, you're right. It's not like the Steinbrenner family comes forward and says, like, this is what's happening with the A's. This is what we're doing with the All-Star game. This is how we're going to monetize the draft. There is nobody that does that. The Fenway Group in Boston, these are Wrigley, like nobody is going to direct what baseball needs to do enough to clean this thing up. And that's why it consistently just feels like nobody's at the wheel of this car.
Yeah, the clown car.
The clown car. Nobody's driving.
Nobody's at the wheel of the clown car. But there sure are a lot of clowns in there.
It's all clowns.
That's what happens in a clown car. You get all these clowns and then they eventually get out. Hopefully they get out and take a look around at some point and realize they can just sell them.
That's right. Yeah, that would be the ultimate win, and how that's not the solution here. And this has got to be just such an insecurity from John Fisher, which again is when these billionaire owners are acting out of insecurity, it's so easy to see through their decision making. Fisher got his money from mommy and daddy, and now he wants to prove that he can do something. I'm going to move the team. If you would just sell the team, everything becomes far cleaner.
Yeah.
And you walk away with $1.5 billion or whatever.
That he made on his own.
There you go.
He can say, look, I may have inherited billions, but I've made my own billions too. I've sold this team for $1 billion+ profit. I did this, not you, mommy and daddy. I did it. And he could do that.
He could, but he's just such an intellectual twerp. I mean, the fact that he hides and won't speak, and when he does speak, he bores everybody to tears, and then when he does speak, he controls the transcript of what is out there. It's all just, I mean, how that guy could be a leader of a multi-billion-dollar or billion-dollar enterprise is beyond me. And when he speaks in front of the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce, when the MC has to say, what do we think about the sound of Las Vegas A's? And you can hear a pin drop because he's so inspiring. It says it all. He can't even rally the support of the people that will make money on the deal.
Yeah.
Even the people that don't make money, they're like, okay.
I'll clap if you make me.
Yeah.
All right. This was the collab we've been waiting for.
Yes, it was.
This is the collab you guys deserved. Me and DA snuck into the NFL fan experience right before it opened. It's starting to actually get loud and busy in here,
That's
so
right.
we'll probably cut this off now. But yes, we did this for you, and I know I don't speak for all A's fans, but I speak for a lot of them, and they love you, man. So
Well, the feeling is mutual, and I can't wait to come out for a game this year. Keep fighting the good fight, because we got to speak truth to power, and this thing, it ain't over yet, because luckily they don't know what they're doing.
thanks, bro.
You got it.